The move from the era of confrontation to the era of negotiation signals a new phase of relations between parties in a political conflict. Welcome to Political Paradigm. I am Bukola Koka, standing in for your regular anchor, Terry Kumi. And if you tag the first and second parts of our talking points today, the role of negotiations in conflict resolution, you may not be wrong. On the one hand, it is important to ask, that's in the matter of Rivers politics. Is this current phase that we're now witnessing in the ongoing dispute between political godfather and his estranged godson, Nyesom Wike and Sim Fubara, one of moving from confrontation to negotiation amid the twists and turns? And on the other hand, is the planned release of 70 bandits in what seems a mutual peace deal in Katsina State a wise decision by the Katsina State government in the long term? Critical questions on today's edition of Political Paradigm. That's our outlook for today. Let's take a moment and we'll be right back. Welcome back. And my first guest today on the Rivers subject matter is Professor Benjamin Okaba, National President, Ijaw National Congress, who joins us virtually from Yenagoa, capital of Bayelsa State. Professor Okaba, welcome to the program. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. It's my great pleasure to be with you.
Now, I'm going to play a particular soundbite that will set the tone for our conversation on the program, and to lay an outline for it. In the last 24 hours, we've heard a particular Ijaw group, that's the Rivers Ijaw People's Congress, supporting the planned impeachment of Governor Sim Fubara. I'd like you to listen to it, and then we'll be right back to begin the first leg of our conversation. So let's have it.
And the IYC Eastern Zone erred fundamentally in their joint press statement by deliberately avoiding the crux of the matter, which is a constitutional dispute between the Rivers State House of Assembly and the Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara. 2, the prevailing political situation in Rivers State is strictly a constitutional matter, arising from alleged infractions of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and remains an issue exclusively between the Rivers State House of Assembly and the Governor, and therefore has nothing to do with ethnicity or any external body outside the executive and legislative arms of the state government. The former Governor of Rivers State and current Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Chief Dr. Nyesom Wike, is not part of this constitutional dispute, as he is not a member of the Rivers State House of Assembly and owes no legislative authority within the state. 4, we therefore advise the authors of the joint press statement to carefully examine the 7-point allegations of gross misconduct and the accompanying particulars leveled against Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and to determine objectively whether these allegations are true or false, whether the actions taken by the Rivers State House of Assembly are constitutional or otherwise. 5, the Eastern Zone of the Ijaw National Congress and the Ijaw Youth Council should refrain from meddling in constitutional and legal matters that cannot be resolved through public rhetoric, media posturing, or emotional appeal, as these issues are before the courts of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the judiciary.
You took an injunction in respect and love for us. The man became something else. We don't know what happened to him. He entered government house. His brain knocked. And then he's doing something else. As if we are people of ingratitude. We are people of gratefulness. Provide is an example. Is he not grateful? Is he not doing well? Some people are good people. We are good people. No man that person government have. He's a bad man. We will say it any day. And all the Ijaw people will give their support to whatever he's saying. We will go against him outright. And we will make sure he doesn't come back again. We believe.
And welcome back, and Professor Okaba is still with us. Professor Okaba, that sets out our conversation as we start off. How does this define the current, atmosphere, temperature in Rivers State?
Okay, the first place, I'm very familiar with these videos. And against that background, I want to say, first and foremost, that the only group that can make emphatic declarative statement on behalf of the Ijaw nation is the INC. The Rivers People's Congress is allying to the organizational structures of the INC. They don't have any mandate to speak for or and engage in any conversation, any agreement with anybody on behalf of each other. To be very specific, the same person made a statement some time ago, I think about a couple of, about 1 or 2 weeks ago, that they are dumping Okaba and giving their support to Wike. That has to be corrected. They have never been with Okaba. They have always been with Wike. I don't want to call them, and I also don't want to make any provocative statement. That is why I'm very careful with the statements I'm making. This same group of people, the Rivers People's Congress, came with a delegation to visit me in Yalagua. Their petition was that we join them to appreciate Wike and condemn Okaba. And we told them that Okaba is our son. We will never abandon him. Then secondly, that it is good to appreciate Wike. We have done that earlier. We will continue to do it. He has done very well for us. But that will not be at the expense of destroying the opportunity of the people who have been chosen the governorship race for the past 25 years about. And that, yes, if there are issues between them, they should not be allowed to affect the governance of and development of Rivers State. And those things can be amicably resolved and all that. I will also ask them to go back and also see how they can mend their offenses, work with the current governor, and also extend or continue with their relationship with with Wike, who must have done so much for them that we also appreciate. Now, the point I'm making is that for a group of persons to say that a social cultural organization should not meddle in politics, in the first place, they are ignorant of what a social culture, the mandate of a social cultural organization. Political behavior is cultural. And Kwame Nkrumah did say that seek ye first the kingdom of politics, then every other thing shall be added unto you. Politics is fundamental. It's the infrastructure of society. It defines economy, it defines technology, it defines law, it defines every component of society. So, as a responsible social cultural organization, we are interested and we continue to be interested in how our people live, how our people are governed, how our people fare, and support good governance, order, and integrity in every society we find ourselves. So, for anybody to say they are meddling, nobody is meddling. It is our duty to look at the context. It's not just about the text. You must place everything within the context. I heard them say that somebody is not part of it. But we have videos saying that that meeting where the impeachment notice was served was attended by the so-called Godfather, and nobody has come to deny it. And there were also declarations made that if impeached, nothing will happen. If you are not concerned about what is going on, why should we be so emphatic? Why should we be so supportive? At that level, we expected that you just either remain neutral or play the role of a father.
All right.
Let me also say this.
Okay.
Let me just make this point. We are not against confessing, appreciating anybody. In fact, if the Rivers People's Congress wish to idolize anybody who has done so well for them, that is their personal issue. If they even want to go to the extent of cutting off their private parts and giving them a sacrifice to wicked, that is their business. But it should not be done at the expense of the advancement of the generator. What they are doing is anti-Ijaw. It's anti-Ijaw. So that point has to be raised. Thank you.
So many things have come up, from your analysis and commentary. You've talked about meddling, and you've also submitted that nobody has come to deny that the political godfather was present at the impeachment proceedings, but there's no evidence to that effect, so we're just going to leave that in the realm of allegation. But very quickly, you say that this other group has no mandate to speak for the Ijaw people. If that were to be the case, doesn't it now seem as if there's a very big crack within the Ijaw kith and kin if one group comes up to say that indeed they support the impeachment proceedings and there are serious constitutional breaches that should be investigated? Isn't the Ijaw family then divided? Because there are reports that it appears as if the Ijaw in Bayelsa are queuing behind Governor Fubara, while the Ijaw in Rivers State seem to be predominantly behind former Governor Wike.
Okay, I think that's quite exaggerated. The Rivers Ijaw Congress constitutes an infinitesimal portion of Ijaw people. Even in Rivers State, their geographical composition is narrowed for some elements. And that is why the Ijaw National Congress has a zonal headquarters. And that zonal headquarters is headed by a zonal chairman who controls over. And that is the body, that is the body and structure that have that first conference with the IYC. IYC Eastern Zone. That is, Eastern Zone is made up of Ijaw in Rivers State and Akwa Ibom State. They have spoken. They have spoken that they are not in support of the impeachment. Now, if within the Rivers State, these people don't constitute a majority. Now, moving forward, the Rivers Elders Council, made up of elders from respective organizations, ethnic nationalities in Rivers State, has also come up to condemn the modality, yes, of the impeachment. Yes, impeachment is a constitutional issue, but the context and the reasons for which these things are proceed are questionable. Let me bring to forth the agreements, purported agreements that are said to be reached. Are you saying them? Who in his same mind will enter into such agreement that the sitting governor should not have any local government chairman appointed, the sitting governor should not go for second term, the sitting governor should not appoint special advisors, only 5, the sitting governor should start with chief of staff, the sitting governor to not appoint commissioners. Where on earth we have such satanic agreement? It's easy. That is why the condemnation is not just limited to Rivers State. It's everywhere in the world. People all over see this as very disrespectful to democracy. That we want to break. And somebody will now come out to say that if someone is given a second tenure, it is a political career. Is it about your political career or the survival of the people of Rivers State? What is at stake? profit of person and government is becoming strong. And it has to be contained by every lover of democracy. That is the point you're making. So the exchange agreement upon which is the basis of this impeachment is satanic, it's evil, and Nigerians should face it. So the question we raise as to whether the Ijaw family is whether there's no trust in the Ijaw family. And the president is just myself, just like you said, is just I am very close to this country. And they are fully behind me. It's just in diaspora are fully behind me. The women have activity. We have taken people activity. We are pursuing their person of aggrandizement. And it will not work.
But Prof, if I may come in there,
yes,
political pundits who are watching the river situation closely are saying that those who are queuing behind Governor Sim Fubara are playing the ostrich because they are denying the practicality of the political negotiation, that there's often an agreement between political godfather and godson at a critical time of electioneering. And Governor Sim Fubara, in this case, has breached an agreement and is managing the situation abysmally. So what are your thoughts on how Governor Fubara has himself managed whatever agreement, which he himself has shied away from explaining to the public or talking about publicly at any particular point in time amid this conflict? So why shouldn't he honor the agreement?
Okay, I agree to the other agreement with anybody. The first thing, Fubara has not said, I signed this agreement with this person. Even the documents you are seeing all over, they are not signed. So if you have an agreement, it's official. Then secondly, if you talk about
Prof, if I may come in there, I'm not talking about subsequent agreements brokered by the president as a solution to the challenge. I'm talking about prior to his emergence as governor, the agreement that has brought us where we are, in this long-drawn political crisis between himself and former Governor Wike that we're not privy to.
Okay. We are not privy to the agreement. We don't know the content of the agreement. Now, what has even the political godfather, has he also come to say that these are the agreements I reached with my son? This too has not said so. So what are we talking about? And again, in all of this, we are talking about a state that is in their need of development, a state that is in their need of peace and orderliness. So somebody cannot, for selfish reasons, and make others to mortgage the freedom of the state. That is the issue. What are the agreements? It's about sovereignty. It's about having to do with governance. And the interest of Rivers State should come first. All the agreements we are talking about is not about saying, okay, if you become governor, you should agree to put projects here and there. If you become governor, we are going to build hospitals here and there. We are not ready on this thing. If you become governor, we are going to advance the development of the business. It's all about when you become governor, by way of rumor, your IGL, 70% of IGL to never be displayed. Your IGL, and to get social appointment, is governance about advancing public interest? Is it not for the development of the state? Is that you can, as a government that is state forming, when we get there and we appoint commissioners for you, what is that done? Is it the first person to be governor of Rivers State? Is it the first person to be governor? Is it the first person to have the godfather? There are limits. Even your own child, when you make him a person, in fact, when your own son becomes king, you respect him. Yeah, you pay him, and he will also respect him. It's reciprocal. You're also not pushing into things that will destroy his reputation. Right. That will destroy the reason why the government is that will put him in bad light. I think these are the things we are looking at. Let us see those agreements if they are in the first place. If they are in some publication, or what have you.
All right. As we wind down now, another thing that may be very critical to look at would be you talked about how you cannot dismiss the involvement of sociocultural groups in politics, and you're dismissing the point about meddlesomeness. But doesn't that then support the point that sometimes sociocultural groups are often used as tools for political negotiation, and amid all of that, inducement may not be ruled out? So are these other groups being induced to support the impeachment proceedings against Governor Fubara?
I'm a social scientist at the first place, so I deal with facts and figures. I don't talk about what I don't know about. I don't know whether they are induced, not induced, whether they are free from inducement or what have you. But the point I'm making is that people can do certain things to satisfy certain interests. They can even go against somebody without inducement because they don't believe in the person. But the question is that that is the configuration of society. But the issue is that majority of black people, majority of rivers people, majority of the Niger Deltas are against this impeachment because it's becoming an instrumentality for political vendetta. It is. Three times in 3 years, it has never happened anywhere. And what are the issues? They are all things that can be discussed, things that can be agreed upon. A governor presents supplementary budget when he needs to do that. And again, when you say governor is not presenting budget, we have it on record that they have the ESO approved their budget, and before they went on research. And probably that when they come back on research, they are going to consider the budget. I was told that their results for research was supposed to be 26th of January. But these guys came back on the 8th, originally, on the 8th. So someone their first meeting. And one of the first meetings, it was to impose, it was to what do you call it, to pass off impeachment process. Meaning that a conducive platform was never provided for the governor to do that. That is about the issue of, like you said, every other issue, yes, if there is sanctions in governance, of course, we should answer. But we are looking at the content for which these things are done. We are not saying that you start impeachment. Yes, you can summon somebody. That does not mean the end of the process. I think there's a process. And again, the impeachment does not also start and end with the national their state house of assembly. There are processes that are involved. People will look into the matter. But again, the manner at which, the speed at which these things are done is questionable. They are not good for our development. They are not good for our livelihood. River State is building. River State has money. The time and so much time have been wasted. Look at the period of emergency rule. All a waste, right? So this is the time where that's why in our community with this case that the both parties should come together and find this and leave out personal issues.
All right.
That is the way
we must anchor this at this point, and thank you very much. Professor Benjamin Okaba is the National President, Ijaw National Congress, who has joined us on this conversation from Yenagoa. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, madam.
And we'll take a moment now. When we return, we'll bring in another guest also to weigh in on this Rivers political crisis subject. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're right on time for the next segment, but you have missed a lot. But there'll be a lot of catching up to do as much as possible. We're still staying with the Rivers political crisis subject. And my next guest is Mr. Victor Ekiakita, former Chief of Staff, Ahoada East Local Government Area. He joins us virtually from Rivers State. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ekiakita. You may need to unmute your device so that we can hear you. Can you hear me, Mr. Ekiakita? Mr. Ekiakita, can you hear me? All right, we'll try to sort that out while we wait for Mr. Kiakita. Mr. Kiakita, can you unmute your device? Try to unmute your device again.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to just begin by asking or doing a recap of some of the thoughts of Professor Okaba for you to react to in the hope that you can hear me. And it was quite an incisive one for the first part of the conversation. And Professor Okaba has said that, look, the Rivers Ijaw People's Congress that has spoken in support of the impeachment proceedings launched by the State Assembly against Governor Fubara, leaves much to be desired because they did not have the mandate to speak for the generality of the Ijaw people, not just in Nigeria, but across the world. He, in fact, said that, submitted that all Ijaw people in Nigeria and beyond are in support of Governor Fubara on this particular one, saying that 3 impeachments within half of a tenure is an instrument of political vendetta. He also alleged that during that particular impeachment proceeding, their political godfather, Minister Nyesom Wike, was present. Now, I've doubled down on that being an allegation, but that already, set the tone for what your reaction should be. So how do you weigh in on the position expressed by Professor Okaba?
First and foremost, I think it is good that we should say the truth and the truth will set us free. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Can you hear me, ma?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So it's good that we say the truth and the truth will set us free. I want to put the record straight. I think that the time the House of Assembly were sitting, the FCC minister was not at the event. Let us put the record straight. And let us also know that at that time, the minister was busy doing his Thanksgiving service. So if people are alleging that the minister being, as they put it, a sponsor of the impeachment proceeding or whatever, was there before that impeachment proceeding took place, I think it's a wrong narrative. And secondly, I always tell people we should be able to talk of ourselves, not to say. There is a saying when I was working as a pointer and also as those who volunteer themselves in Ahoada East to lead security agencies, to those who killed late Bako. I told these court boys, don't say, Nawi. Nawi is a general language. Don't say Ijaw people, both home and diaspora, are with sin. My sister, do you remember what happened during the state of emergency? Could you recall very well that it was this drum beating? When the fight was done, nobody appeared to be with sin. Nobody appeared. Even those who were saying that they are going to bring out their dynamite and kill everybody. When the chief was done, everybody ran. So my own suggestion is that impeachment is not a do and die affair. Impeachment can take place. From what I have seen so far, the impeachment is just an exercise for the governor to bring out himself. So yeah, so see what people are alleging me for. Me and my deputy are not true. These are how the money is being spent. This side is being spent. And when he comes out victoriously, there will be no more impeachment. So let nobody be beating the drum saying Ijaw people are this, Ijaw people are that. Because when the things will be done, everybody will leave the governor. And just as I'm seeing the whole game playing now, everybody has said they are with governor because of 600 billion or thereabout. That is why people are beating drum for support. When there is no money with the governor, or when nobody has voiced out that this is what we have in our port. So you cannot see that the reason why people are now saying they are drawing, they are hitting drum for the support of the governor is because there is money in the state port. There are many that governors have even given money as alleged to go and meet people. Let there be peace in the state. So if this come up because of the presentation of budget or because of the 100,000 naira thereabout that they sent to the House of Assembly member, just of yesterday, I had two assembly members pleading that let there be a dialogue, and that's how it's supposed to be. So those who are busy hitting drums, telling Mr. Governor, don't worry, we are for you, we are for you. My sister, nobody came out. We know ourselves in River State here. So to me, hello? Can you hear me?
Go ahead and land on your thoughts, Mr. Kiakita.
Okay. To me, what if I'm in the shoe of the governor, or if I'm to advise the governor, from the whole write-up I've read so far, from the day of this impeachment notice to date, what I see from this whole thing is that it's a power puzzle, whereby the governor feels that he's innocent. Then let the chief judge set a panel. But whereby he sees that there's going to be another big war coming up, it's better you call the party, call these other people, call these other people. This is politics. It's
All
not
right.
enmity forever.
All right.
It's not enmity forever. So it's just an exercise, a powerful exercise. So to me, if there is need for governor to call the assembly, call Godfather, whatever, or the minister, please.
All right, Mr. Kiakita, you have made...
Very wrong. That this same group of people will still be called by the president to come and give their own explanation again. It's not matured. So to me, let us not even wait for president to come back from abroad. Let us iron our issue by ourselves. So that's what I think.
And that's very instructive. The ability to, put your own house in order, without any interference from outside. But that's hardly what has been the case in the, resolution of the River State political crisis. But you said some things that I'd like to ask whether you have evidence to that effect or not, and who you're talking about. You're saying that the only reason that some persons are queuing behind the governor currently is because there now seems to be funds available in Rivers coffers, and that you are alleging that the governor has in fact paid some people to go and speak on his behalf. And so who are these people, and do you have allegations to prove that indeed that is what is happening at this point in time?
Okay, my sister, like yesterday, where I saw a Jack, that is Igberi Papa, he was on listening to debunk that they are standing for the governor. Now, I am a little bit I'm telling you that any group of people that comes out to say we are for the governor, money has shake hand with them. This is our state. You will see like the other time I watched those ones that were busy debunking, say, minister, give me this. Minister said I should do this. And the governor said I should do this. Money has passed through. So before you see somebody say, I'm standing with governor.
So, Mr. Kiakita.
And now, as I'm talking to you, before the next month, I am hitting my chest that the governor gave those three assembly members who we are having a different session as of that of the crisis. They were given 1.8 billion naira for what? For project. And I've never been seen on just for one to encourage supporters. So this is how other people do. You could remember that.
Mr. Kiakita.
There's one Ugochinyere. He kept our state. And he was busy from the state. And luckily enough, the governor, in his own wisdom,
but Mr. Kiakita,
I quote him.
We're going to leave that in the realm of allegation and assumption. And if that is the case, shall we also say that the Ijaw group that is also supporting the impeachment proceedings against the governor may have also been induced, this time by the other party?
No, see, this impeachment of a team, it is a joint calling by the members of the House because of the maltreatment given to them by the governor based on what they said. It is because of they claim they found against the governor.
But why would Ijaw go against their own kith and kin?
Yes, sometimes it's like that. Even in my own kingdom, in Epe, where somebody happens to do bad things, it does not mean that if my brother happens to do evil, then I will not side him. I will have to go ahead and that the man should be hit for the man. So it does not mean that because we have a judge in the House of Assembly. After all, the leader of the group or the leader of the House, we have the spokesman of the House. So they have and their brother is not carrying them along. Their brother is not giving them.
Mr. Kiakita, you have
we have the executive, the and then the judiciary.
Pardon me, as we begin to wind down now, you have very, very interesting thoughts. You are asserting that anyone who comes out to speak in favor of the governor may have been induced, but those who speak against the governor in favor of the FCT minister has certainly not been induced, but has come out objectively to look critically at the allegations leveled against the governor. But, well, those are your thoughts. We can hardly question you on what your convictions are. But talk to us about this. 2 assembly lawmakers have come out and appealed to their colleagues to sheath their swords and look for a political solution to the current political crisis in Rivers State. Who shall we say have appealed to them? Because they cited stakeholders who are reaching out, to sort of seek a political solution to this. So why Honorable Dege, Honorable Abe and Wankwo, are they the weak link in the Rivers State Assembly? Why those 2 lawmakers? And who perhaps has reached out to them in this case?
I think from my own, when I watched it, I felt, yes, other stakeholders from the state might have talked to them. And then they felt that instinct, like going online, doing a video, pleading with their colleague to shift their sword. Based on what I just told you before, that this whole thing is like, if I am the governor, I will look at it. No need of us quarreling. No need of us. Let us iron our differences here before they coming up. Before they coming up. What in the state? I also heard that also initiated their own move. So I also from the state, but I've also called them, and these 2 hearken to the advice and also say that it is need to come out and plead with their own assembly members. And also so I think so. I think angle of the government.
Let me slot this one in as we wrap up. Now, the State Assembly has cited 7 very strong grounds of breaches for impeachment, to launch the impeachment proceedings against Governor Sim Fubara. Now, if it goes back on its word and considers the appeals, would it be an assembly that condones constitutional breaches?
No, I will not see it so. If what they have also laid down comes to a roundtable for discussion, I don't see it so. So I think it is just a show of maturity, and to make sure that there is peace in the state. That is the only thing I think.
So political solution trumps the need to look at serious constitutional breaches in order to set a precedent to prevent such breaches in the future. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So political solution is more important here than compliance with the Constitution?
Yeah, I think, because even if we go back, the states have a setback, because if you watch very well during the state of emergency, the state suffer setback, and as I'm talking to you, most of the ministry who benefited during the emergency, and when the governor came back, most of them are dying silent. Most of them are dying silent. Most of the military, they are overpayments, like payment with overhead are also being held. So it's better that they have one than for their. So if we can to make peace, I don't think there's any problem.
All right. We'll have to take your answer yet again on this one. But talk to us about what also seems to be a very important next step amid this negotiation, and that is the resolve of those who are queuing behind Minister Nyesom Wike in this particular political disagreement. And they're saying that they are clear about who to support for the presidency in the 2027 general elections, but not necessarily who to support in the governorship elections in Rivers State. What are your thoughts on this, and where do you stand in this particular one?
Okay. All forces in Rivers State in the presidential aspect goes to the president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and then that of the governorship. I think just as APC national chairman said in an interview, he said that of the governor for now, I don't know. But any person that happens to get the national or happens to get the primary election and wins in favor of everybody will queue up. If it is a governor, that's fine. If it's a person, everybody will queue up. So if it's in the side of the minister, and then it happens that the whole state happens that maybe it's another party that emerges as a somebody. I'm not going to be the one to ask them come and play again for second tenor. Those where it pinches me, I'm just a follower.
You're not just a follower, Mr. Kakita, if your records serve me right. You're a former chief of staff in a very key local government in Rivers State. So I'm sure that you have opinions that should count in this regard. And so if we looked at the matter as objectively as possible, would you be supporting Governor Fubara because he has performed in Rivers State, he has delivered on infrastructure development and human capacity development, or would you withdraw your support for him and support any other candidate that may emerge should this political leadership tussle not be resolved before 2027?
Okay, now my support, if I am to support, because if you watch what it said, if I'm going to support this, for me, as it stands now, in as much as I have benefited, my AG have benefited in the work where he took over from his predecessor, I think the work so far in his own administration is dull. Is dull. Not infrastructure is not all that. And then if somebody who I think is more better than him, I would take my followers and my structure down to that person that is, because what we are talking about is show working. It's not about initiation of another person from the previous government that you took over. We are talking of genuine one that you started, and there is no youth empowerment. So I fall in that bridge of youth. So there's supposed to be an impact on the youth. No impact on youth. So if I discover that it's better than Fobara, I will with my supporters.
Well, again, we'll take your views on this particular one. But if we looked critically at the allegations that the State Assembly has ironed out in its grounds for impeachment, one of which is breach of the Fiscal Responsibility Act with spendings without approval. But we know that following the state declaration of a state of emergency, there was an administrator that was put in place who presented a budget that was approved by the National Assembly. So against that backdrop, should Governor Fubara be representing another budget? And against that backdrop, yet again, can the Assembly indeed prove these allegations that they have leveled against Governor Fubara if there had been a budget that had been approved by the National Assembly during a declaration of a state of emergency?
Okay, I think that budget is supposed to this year, and I think what also about that 1.8 trillion naira, they said it is an appropriation bill, I don't know, or whatever, that the governor with his executive raised. So, but to me, the budget assembly during the time of emergency is still running. I think so. It's still running till June. So after 6 months, if he does not present any physical budget for the 2026, it's not left for him to know that he cannot spend any money. And I think maybe that is that angle these people are coming from. But to me, I think that there is for the governor to put himself to order and put the house to order. Because if there is something the house didn't understand and they raise this impeachment, they are all brothers, irrespective of the different arms of government they operate.
All right.
So that's what I expect from the governor.
Mr. Kekita, I'd like you to hold your thoughts for a bit. We'll take a sound bite from Minister Nyesom Wike's one of his many thank you rallies in Rivers State, during which one of the supporters spoke and gave us an insight into what may happen ahead of 2027. I'd like you to listen to this, and then we'll come back and wrap up.
When it comes to who will be the president of Nigeria come 2027, we know where to go. We know where to go. When it comes to the other one, who will be governor of Rivers State, we don't know where to go, but we know where not to go. We know where we will go, but we don't know where we will go, but we know where we will not go. We will not go the way of ingratitude. We will not go the way of disrespect. We will not go the way of disloyalty. It is on this note that I want to thank all of you and welcome you for all your sacrifices, for your time, for your commitment, and for every other thing in between. Thank you very much, our people, and God bless you all.
All right, Mr. Kiakita, your final thoughts on this?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now, from the video I just watched, you know, it is already clear from the side of the FCT minister, and they have seen the governor as an ingrate. Ingrate in the sense that during the time of the governorship, so many people contributed, so many people stepped down for the governor, who was never known from Adam in the line of River State politics. So many people stepped down because of the respect they have for the minister. So politics is just like an investment. You invest and you are also waiting for your return of your investment. So that's what I'm seeing from the speeches, because what they were supposed to derive from the investment, they never got in it. And which instead of them to get a reward from their investment, what they had was, had I known. So I think that's where they're gearing their anger to. So, and for the time, for the area of the president, it's 100% vote for him. But for the governor, they said they will not, they don't know for now. But until an order comes, this is where you will go and this is where you will not go.
All right. Just to remind ourselves that if there's anything that Rivers politics has taught us, is that the cost of war is far greater than that of peace. We must anchor at this point, and thank you very much, Mr. Hector Ekakita, a former chief of staff to Obiakwa local government area in Rivers State. Thank you for your time on the program.
Ahoada.
Oh, pardon me, Ahoada East, local government area of Rivers State. Thank you for your time on the program.
Yeah.
And that's it. Pardon us as we were unable to bring you that conversation on security in Katsina State. Just to reiterate that we indeed put out a word to the Commissioner for Internal Security in Katsina State, and he had promised to be here, and we do not know why the conversation has not come through as a result of his non-appearance on the program. But there are critical questions to be asked about the release of 70 bandits, especially where the people in Katsina have cited past agreements with bandits in the administration of former Governor Masari that had failed, as those bandits had taken up arms again, had begun killing and kidnapping people in Katsina State. And so we hope that we can have this conversation in the future and look at an enduring solution to insecurity challenge in Katsina State. That's how it's been on Political Paradigm today. Thank you so much for being there. Join me again same time next week when I bring you another edition. I am Bukola Koka, standing in, of course, for your regular anchor, Terry Kumi. Bye for now.